Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Between Plays. So today's Between Plays is going to be on Neo Lithium. Now on September 14th, everybody heard that cattle got involved with Neo Lithium, all right? And immediately on that day when I heard this, I shot in money, of course, like whoever else heard of the deal. And of course I've been able to see that grow since then. And naturally, with everything that's been going on, you know, you're looking at the elections around the corner, depending on if you're in some cruise lines, that they extended the no sale order till the end of October. And just the whole general reviewing of vaccines and of other companies and stuff like that. I had also placed some money in Lithium America. As soon as Gangfen got involved with them, back when it was like, I don't even remember, like $4 or something like that. And I've been able to enjoy seeing that grow to $22 at one point. I think it's like $19.50 or $20 at the moment. And I was going, wait a minute. What's going on, cattle again? And Neo Lithium? I was like, because I know I put down money and I know it's growing, but did I put enough? So I went back. I said, I gotta research more of this because I didn't weigh the importance. Surely haven't weighed the importance. Cattle is the world leading EV battery and other storage solutions on the planet. They're the number one. Even Tesla went to them 3-4 months ago and said, build on batteries. So what's going on here? If cattle on September 14th signed this type of deal to invest $8.5 million, representing an 8% equity stake in Neo Lithium, investment a way of private placement at 84 cents common share. It says that the investment further strengthens because the balance sheet of Neo Lithium, oh yeah, it's good. It's really good. And this, for sure, just adds to that amazing balance sheet. So it basically gives the company balance sheet with more than 37 million of cash post private placement. There's a technical committee to be formed to oversee the definitive feasibility study to see how much it's going to cost at the end. So now for a lot of people that don't understand that, I went to a site that explains it right here. Consultants to the mining industry. So it explains the steps. So A is exploration work. It's already passed. B, concept studies. It's already passed. C, pre-feasibility studies. This was done in like 2017, I think, if I remember correctly, or 2018. Then there's the definitive feasibility study, which is the part that they're looking at right now. But they've already done the pre-feasibility study, and they already have price ranges for that. So let me see if we have it here. So, all right. Don't have it on these dates, but it's already done. And then you have what they're at right now, the definitive feasibility study, which is right here on the curve. This is production. So what are we looking at for E? Well, E is detailed design, procurement, and construction. So definitely they have to buy whatever equipment is needed and stuff like that because they're going to start construction. But They have cattle involved here. Cattle. Don't you think that cattle doesn't, I mean, they want this because they're going to get their lithium from one of the biggest mining sites on the planet with quality lithium of 99.6%. And Neo Lithium can do it at low cost, at the low end of the cost spectrum. And Neo Lithium has a solid balance sheet. But we'll get into that after. So that's where we are right now. So with cattle on board and other investors since cattle got on board. Cattle got in on September 14th. But there's some other players that we need to look at in here. That's very interesting. This is where we are. And this is what's going to happen very soon. All right? It all depends on when you want to get into the game. So, Neo Lithium already had over 18 months of cash to continue this and pay for all the stuff that they need to pay for in order to get this done. But that was before they had cattle. Imagine, before they had cattle involved as a partner. So, this mine can produce 20,000 metric tons of lithium for over 35 years, with the capacity of going 40,000 metric tons per year. Let me give you some important dates. So, Neo Lithium started in 2015. In 5 years, look at where they've arrived. From finding the lithium at the Tres Cuadras project in Argentina to where they are today. Because those 5 years have been really the most important in the EV market. So if we take a look at this, it's just some important dates. In 2018, amongst other things obtained, they have a 30-year fiscal stability and as well as other important tax benefits, the Argentinian government. We talked about the 20,000 metric tons capacity to be able to go to 40,000 metric tons, and we're talking about 35-year mine, all right? Yeah, so for over 35 years. Low capex of 318.9 million. Lower end operating cost curve, right? Using well-known, simple, proven processing. Some of the people that are on board here. Let's see if I have that site still up. Let's just go to that site because I think it's very important as well. Some of these people, like the engineers that are on here, were involved in the Barrick company. They were involved in Lithium America. They're involved in other, here, let's go take a look here. Let's see, leadership. Yeah, so our engineers previously worked in companies like SQM, Orocobre, Lithium Americas, Kawachi, Minera Alumbera, Barrick, and BHP. BHP is pretty good, pretty huge. Well, so is Barrick. Well, whatever, they're all good, right? Yeah, so very important. That's off their site. Now, let's look at some other dates here. Let's skip to 2019, February 2019. The pilot plant to site and they renewed their license. So I have a pilot plant up. Excuse me. April 15th, 2019, impact assessment was done. This is also an environmentally friendly company here. They are assessing everything, all right? Even the impact on the people that they're bringing down. They have over 70% or 75% locals working, that are going to be working on site. They've created educational programs in order to have the locals be able to work here. We're talking about 35 years of careers for people down in Argentina. Quite amazing feat. Did I tell you about the balance sheet being rock solid? Anyways, so February 14th, so April 15, 2019, impact assessment. May 21st of 2019, the pilot plant is fully operational. Geochemical factory. So the geochemical factory in the Fiambala area is fully operational. Drilling season ended with 218 meters of in depth of high grade lithium, a high grade zone. October 15, 2019, 610 hectares of land to be allocated for the industrial park that they're making there near Fiambala. All right. Neo Lithium will receive 349 hectares for constructing the lithium Cabarata plant, solar power for electricity, and it will satisfy the requirements as well. Freshwater well completed and donated by Neo Lithium to the municipality for community use. Second water well is to service their plant. February 11th of 2020, they started looking for a strategic partner. They were looking for a strategic partner, okay? And they had multiple interested parties, and they hired Buffa Securities in order to aid in the process, as well as a financial aspect of it. And Waldo Press stated that we are extremely encouraged with the level of interest in Neo Lithium. March 11th, battery grade of 99, March 11th of 2020, March 11th of 2019, battery grade of 99.6% in 2 separate tests using improved processes. And the one that they're going to take is done with reduced costs. May 4, 2020, the 3Q project, fully operational with strong safety measures. Strong balance sheet, we spoke about that. September 14th, we have cattle involved. Now, it was just some historic starting in 2018. For the last 12 months, Waldo Perez, okay, who is the president, CEO, and the director, he's still right there, bought 168,000 shares, all right, insider buying. Now, let's go and take a look at a few different aspects of this. Let's get down to business here. So, they're trading at 20.2% below our estimated of its fair value. Health of the company, value of the company is very high. It became profitable this year. It's profitable, guys. It's profitable. They also utilize 3 to 4%. They take 3 to 4% of the lithium from the ponds that they have. Let's look at the risk checks. So naturally, they don't have a high quality earnings yet. They're not even in production. It's amazing that they're profitable. Naturally, okay, there's of course the share stability, stuff like that, okay, and their market capitalization is at 116 million at the moment. Are they forecast to achieve profitability? The company is currently profitable. Are revenue and earnings forecast to grow? Earnings have grown by 92.2% per year over the past 5 years. Are they in good financial position? They are debt free. Guys, this is a mining operation, debt free. Cattle is involved. And I didn't tell you about the other people involved yet. Oh yeah, because I've been researching this for the last 2 days. That's why I haven't been able to put up a video in the last 2 days, because I just had to take a deeper look to make sure that what I'm reading is right. Because if Lithium America is at the price that they are right now, good Lord. Anyways. Have profit margins improved over the past year? Profit margins improved, or NLC became profitable, which they have. Do they have sufficient financial data available? At least 3 years of financial data is available. Are there any concerning recent events? No concerning recent events. Have shareholders been diluted over the past year? Shareholders have not been meaningfully diluted over the past year, recently listed, so they passed there as well. So that looks really good. So in the 1 year return, they had 102%, where the metals and mining industry had 44%, and the Canadian market had negative 5.1%. So return versus industry is green. NLC exceeded the Canadian metals and mining industry, which returned 44% over the past year. Return versus market, NLC exceeded the Canadian market. The Canadian market, which was returned over negative 5.1% over the past year. NLC had a 1 year return of 102%. So NLC versus the industry is very high versus the market. The valuation of company, they're undervalued compared to their value at 20.2%. Basically, you got here 99 cents, which is the current price, and the fair value should be at $1.24 in the fair value. So it's below fair value and significantly before fair value by more than 20%. The P versus industry. NLC is in good value based on its own P ratio of 12.2 times compared to the CA metals minus figure average of 26. P versus market. NLC is good value based on its P ratio compared to the Canadian market. The PB versus price to book ratio versus industry. NLC is good value based on its price to book ratio of 1.9 compared to the Canadian metals and mining industry average of 2.7. If we look at how can I say, past earnings growth, the company's at 92.2%. This is the industry, is the market, right? Last year, earnings growth, we have nothing for the company here, industry and market. So it says here, earnings shows that NLC has become profitable over the past 5 years, growing earnings by 92.2%. Let's not forget, they're in the feasibility study right now. And then after that, they're building the plant. So, and that shouldn't take long with today's technology. So let's keep on going here. Look at the financial health. I don't even remember when I seen 6 out of 6, all green. Their assets, there's like no hardly any liabilities. Short-term and long-term assets, hardly any liabilities, and they're debt-free. And with the cattle deal, they have over $37 million in cash. Pre that, they could have lasted over 18 months on their own and paid for the whole feasibility study and everything, the operations and everything, for over 18 months and had no issues. That's quite incredible. Short-term liabilities, NLC short-term assets, $29.1 million exceeded short-term liabilities, long-term liabilities. So the short-term assets of $29.1 million exceeds the long-term liabilities of $2.7 million. So in their liabilities, this is great. This is just insane. More green. Debt level. NLC is debt free. NLC has not had any debt for the past 5 years. They've never had debt. That's what made me ask myself, who are these guys? They started in 2015. Look at where they are by 2020. They had a lot of interested parties. The people that they have on board were people from Barracks, BHP, and not just anybody. They're people that know what they're doing. And they had a lot of interested parties in them. Cattle, the biggest supplier of EV batteries, is on board with them. Which means that cattle, once this goes, all the lithium is going to be going to cattle to build all the batteries. Not just for EVs, but the housing storage market. Like, forget about just cars. There's going to be EVs and everything, like batteries and everything. Boats, regular speedboats, cruise ships, cruise liners, whatever you can think of. Zero net emissions by 2050. It's done. If we can move the trains this way, they'll move trains this way too. Everything is going to move using renewable energy. And lithium is highly, as well as nickel, is highly important. But cattle, the number one producer, battery producer on the planet, is here. Keep on listening. Debt coverage. NLC has no debt, therefore it does not need to be covered by operating cash flow. Interest coverage. NLC has no debt, therefore coverage of interest payment is not a concern. Let's keep on going. This is about the experience of the people involved. Now, this is where it gets super interesting. There's still 71% of general public in here, all right? And I looked and I went, wow, there's almost 19% institutions. I've seen other different companies where there's like no institutions or one institution, but there's like 19 already in here. 19%. 19%. And individual investors, 10.4%. So I went to take a look. And who has 12.79%? BlackRock. I hope you guys know who BlackRock is, and if you don't, please go look them up because they're huge. As investing firms, or however they identify themselves, I'm sure it's as an investing firm, they are massive. They are a world player with trillions of dollars of assets. So BlackRock Inc. owns 12.79%. And then it's Waldo Perez at 4.46%. BlackRock. Then you have Mackenzie Financial, Commodity Capital AG, Konstantin Karyanopoulos, IG Investment Management, 9 Point Partners, KBC Asset Management, Orn and Company, Alpha North Asset Management, Thomas Platson, Carlos Vichens, BBVA Asset Management. And I was like, wow, that's really, 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 really interesting. So I decided to go and do more research on dates and stuff like that. When did these people get involved? Have they been there forever? Well, I went to Fintel to help with some SEC filings and stuff like that. And the filing date that I have here is 2020-09-28. So 2020-09-28, so September 28th. Cattle jumped in September 14th, and it was announced on September 14th that cattle was involved here. And on September 28th, the filing date, that's when BlackRock Natural Resources Trust got involved. Right after. About what, 12 days later? 14 days later? But look at just around that time, because there was a lot of talk going on, right? And sometimes people on the inside hear certain things or know where things are going. So September 14th is cattle. BlackRock, here we have here, is 14 days later. Look at this. 2020, August 28th. So we're getting pretty damn close to September. J&L Series Trust, which is J&L hashtag, not hashtag, but backslash BlackRock Global Natural Resources Fund. Then August the 27th, still really close to September, BlackRock Resources and Commodities Strategy Trust. But then you have, okay, 2020 07 22 BlackRock Funds, and you have 2020 06 26, you have LIT, Global X Lithium and Battery Tech ETF. I went and checked out the LIT, all right, ETF here, and I was like, wow, I was pretty impressed. So, very, very impressive stuff here. Naturally, we see some short interest as well, but you can see that there's a decline here. And when you look at the short interest of 2019 10-15, short interest of 910,000 versus 2009-15, 5,876. So I don't know if you see the graph, but we'll lower the light intensity. You can see that now. So this is November of 2019, all the way at the top here. Just look at it drop March, April, May, because we have all the talks now, right, on the inside here. September, we're near zero. 2020 09 15, short interest 5,876. 2019 10 15, 910,000 here. It's a massive, massive difference. All right. Days to cover short is 1. 2019 10 15, days to cover short is 41. Let's go get more interesting stuff here. So, on American banking news, all right, on the news headlines, it even states that Neo Lithium on September 28th, all right, sees significant increase in short interest. And what we see over here, is it drops by, short interest in Neo Lithium drops by 25%. And the reason why it goes up on September 28th is because we had a lot of retail investors come in September 14th with cattle looking to make money. So you have a lot of people that spike the stock, pump it, and then dump it. So of course naturally you have some shorters come in and they play it, correct? This is how that works. So there you go. And look, this actually backs up exactly what I'm saying. So as of September 15th, so the day after cattle announces it on September 14th with Neo Lithium, there was a short interest totaling 5,900 shares, all right? An increase of 118% from August 31st, total of 2,700 shares. So in August 31st, they state that it went down to 2,700, which was even better than previously announced. So that's why we had going on here, which is completely normal, all right? Now, but let's go back over here. On the short interest from Neo Lithium. As September 15th, previous short volume was 2,700, then it went up to 5,900, which was an increase of 118%, right? Again, this was after the pump, and of course you're going to have retailers getting out. But institutional investors don't get out. So it didn't really go up that much. So now you're going to have a decrease eventually of the shorters. But does that really matter in the end when it comes to, are you staying long-term in this stock? Well, let me tell you something. After every single thing that I've seen about this company and what I've seen with Lithium America, I would definitely not go anywhere. So basically that's what you're looking at. You're looking at a company that had a significant amount of a decrease of short interest before this announcement. One said 5,000, one said 2,780. But what you need to remember is this. The shorting that we're talking about here on September 15th, see, you have to always think about these things, right? Put them together. It said it was an increase of 118%, correct? But the dates are here too. It says it here as well. Look at this. It says 2020, 0831, it said 2,701. It says it here, all right? And it says 2020, 0915, it says 5,976, which is that you have your increase. But look at the shorting of 2019 of 910,000 versus a shorting of a small retail investing because cattle was involved, and then you're going to take out. So of course they see, but that's totally insignificant. What's my take on all this? Well, I have a debt-free company. On the last 5 years alone, what they've been, listen, I went through all the CEDAR filings. I started in 2016. I was like, well, who cares about 2015? But I read every single news article since 2016 and on. Every one of them. And I looked at some of the M&A in order to read what they accomplished for this year and in the past. And I am quite frankly shocked at how fast and how far they've gotten. And the fact that they're debt-free and they have this much money and that they can do everything on their own before cattle got involved. And then you're looking at cattle, the #1 EV battery maker on the planet, and everything that they're able to, they have an 8% stake in the company that's going to be taking the lithium out of the ground. So, if I own a company and I have a percentage stake in another company, am I going to go and pick up my lithium at a competing company? Hell no. I'm going to be going to the company I have an 8% stake in. And I'm the #1 producer of batteries on the planet. Even Tesla came to me. It's a no-brainer. I was like, man. And now you got BlackRock in there. You have others. You have like institutional investors already coming in the game. I read you all of them. That's insane. It's already got people coming in, and the share price of this is still $1. Listen, yeah, I have a stake in it. I do. I have a stake in it. I have a significant stake in it, actually, for myself, for the amount of money that I have in my life. All right. Is it still something that I can afford to lose? Well, this year has been a very amazing year when it comes to the stock market. So, yeah, I could afford to lose this. I wouldn't want to lose this any other day of the week, but with the amount of money being made in the stock market that I have made, yeah, I could afford to lose it. Yes, I can. Which I would never say, let's say, in past lives. So that just goes to show how much I believe in this. The Argentinian government are heavily involved in here. They've been given hectares of land. They have a whole industrial park that's created they have educational programs in order to teach the people that are in the area, that are being brought down there to live in this whole industrial park, and educating them on how to work in the plant. They got careers here of over 35 years being done. The Argentinian government's not going to let this go. There's no way in heck they're going to let this go. This is huge, huge for the people over there. This is huge for cattle. This is huge for Neo Lithium as well. They have zero debt. They could pay their own stuff before cattle got in. They have BlackRock in there. They got like the Global X Lithium ETF fund that's in it. They have a ton of other institutional investors that are involved in the company as well already, and the stock is still $1. Look at Lithium America. Look at where they're at. Look at Lithium America. I mean, I don't want to compare. I really don't. So I'm not going to compare. I'm not going to do it. But I really think you guys should go and do that comparison yourself. Go look at Lithium America. Go look at, go look at their balance sheet. Go look at everything. Go do the research. And yeah, definitely, we're not talking about the same mines and whatever. And they have gang involved in theirs and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just saying, I'm not saying one's better than the other, but let's just pretend that they're of equal weight. All right, I'm just saying like that, because I'm not comparing, but I'm just putting 2 and 2 together here, and I'm going, I got cattle in here, man. I got cattle. People want my batteries, including the #1 EV car maker on the planet. You take 4 of the competing number 2, 3, 4, and 5. You take those 4 competing EV companies, all 4 of them together don't make what Tesla does in a year. Like the amount of cars. That's insane. And he's with cattle, and cattle's with Neo. Neo has no debt. They're in a feasibility study right now where I showed you on the mining charts where that means that they are. The way I'm looking at this, at the speed that these guys are doing this in 5 years, I'm thinking that within the next 2 years, because of the fact that lithium by 2024, 2023, 2024, you're looking at like shortages of lithium and nickel. Like, you're going to need these guys they're going to be producing. Hey, the government, Argentina government, hectares of land, industrial parks being built. This is not something that they're saying, we're not going to do this. They built water wells, pipelines in order to service the community and to service their plant. I'm not doing this for fun. I'm trying to read between the lines. This is going to happen. In my opinion, this is going to happen. I've been, this is a 38, almost 40-minute video because there's like 2-3 days of studies. I had one of my friends say, hey man, you haven't put up a video in 2-3 days. I'm like, oh yeah, because I think I'm sitting on something here that's huge, really huge. And listen, I'm so excited that, yeah, so I put in what I put in, and I'm actually thinking about putting in more, and it'll probably be, I'm probably going to look at it a different way. I'm probably going to say to myself, well, I'll put in this much more, because if the stock drops, then I can afford to lose this much, and then I'll get out. But if the stock goes up, well, yeah, instead of just saying, well, I can afford to lose this much, and if I lost that much, well, it'd be gone. So I might put in like double that amount, and then if it loses this much, then I get the hell out type scenario, because I want this much in order to grow it that much bigger. Because I don't think you find gold mines like this every single day. And it's like what Warren Buffett says, right? Or It doesn't matter who it is, Ray Dalio, Jim Rogers, it could be Jim Sinclair. They all say the same thing, or even Kathy Woods. Like when they find a stock, but naturally goes, any great investor will say that. But because I originally heard it from Warren Buffett when he was telling it to like a school, and he was like, if you have to buy a car, when you're looking, you have to do the whole research and know what the car, because you're gonna have it for the rest of your life, or if you have one or two cars. Well, I went crazy the last 3 days on this, and the government's already given like fiscal feasibility tax and whatever for like, what was that, 35 years? Yeah, for over 35 years, 30 years of fiscal stability, as well as other important tax benefits. Everybody's on board. The government's on board. I know that they had met in 2019. They're good with this is. I want to say I'm just super excited. I'm not trying to sell this stock. I'm just super excited about it, and I hardly slept, and I went through like all the CDRs, like I said. I went through Simply Wall Street, which I've shown you, Market Beat, Fintel. I went to Yahoo Finance. I mean, Yahoo Finance alone puts them at. Let's go to Yahoo Finance, because I think it's the only one I didn't go to with you guys here. So let's go to Yahoo Finance. So Yahoo Finance, it's very interesting as well, where they place the company. So when you look at Neo Lithium in Yahoo Finance, here we go. So you put Neo Lithium in here, and you go look at, so Neo Lithium's at $1.01 right now. And when you go look at basically, if you look at even in Yahoo Finance here, you have them at, look at these 2 years, 2016, 2017. But then as soon as they did their ponds and all these other things that are involved, you have here like earnings of 678,000 and then earnings of 1 million. All right, they're profitable. They're between strong buy and buy. They're at 1.5 between strong buy and buy. And that's when it really went from bias, like between strong buy and buy, September, August, September, okay? And the analyst price targets are at $2. Their average price is $2.48 and 3.35, right? 3.35 is high. When you look at Neo Lithium, all right, on Simply Wall Street, you have them about the same thing as well. You have them here at valuation at, it says that their fair value is at 124. That's what they put them at here. And if you look at Neo Lithium here, analyst ratings under Market Beat, they're at consensus price target of $2.75. So, all right, guys, that's about it. So listen, please do all of your research before you invest. Invest wisely. Naturally, Betweenplays is just your stock entertainment channel. So these are of my opinion. But we do the research really hard here. We try to get as much as possible. We'll look at the negative sides and the good sides of everything. In here, I haven't been able to find any negative sides, except for the fact that the plant is not producing yet. At the full, mine is not there, but they're in their feasibility study and they got cattle on board. So basically, yeah, so listen, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. We're going to have more videos coming up to you. Tomorrow we should have, I got a few other videos I'm working on right now of other companies, and we have to go back into a few other companies that have some other announcements that have been made. Don't forget we have the betweenplays.com webpage. Of course, we're on Twitter, so put us up on Twitter. And on Twitter, I usually put up like pre-market movers and stuff like that, and then also on what shows are going to be coming up. So that's pretty important. And then we have our Betweenplays .store that's going to be coming up pretty soon too. So you have pens and you have all kinds of stuff there. It's going to be pretty cool. So listen, guys, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button over here, and stay strong, guys. Have a great evening.